I'm no expert on the subject, but this, I'm told, is the fastest handbag in the world.
Oh no!
This is the world's fastest handbag. These Maybach monograms on the bonnet, there are 307 of these. Probably another 100 more on the fabric cover, dozens more on the outside as well as on the inside. In the world of fashion, high-end buyers are lapping up logos, and Maybach, they know it. They also want a piece of the pie. This is the Monogram series, and Maybach are serious about monograms. The Maybach lettering atop the chrome-laden grille is illuminated, and these vertical streaks are typical of the brand. Behind it is the Mercedes-Benz star. Maybachs are more extravagant versions of Mercs. It gets a restyled front bumper with plenty of Maybach monograms in the air dam. There's a chrome spear down the bonnet. Chrome windshield surround. There are two color themes, white ambience and red ambience. This obviously is the latter. Obsidian black twinned with red garnet. Maybach monogram on the headlights with rose gold accents. Maybach lettering on the 21-inch wheels. You can get it in this multi-spoke design or forged monoblocks. Maybach and Maybach on the sills. Maybach on the carpets. Crystal white Napa leather upholstery in this Maybach typical floral pattern, Maybach monogram, Maybach lettering under the air curtain that blows warm air around your neck when you're top-down motoring in cold weather. Maybach logos on the digital cluster. Maybach on the pedals. Maybach on the fenders. There's also Maybach on the brake calipers, though you can't see it. You get Maybach logos on this insulated roof. You also get Maybach logos on this sculpted twin dome cover, which actually covers the rear seats. The SL63 is a 2+2. The Maybach SL is a 2-seater. And of course, Maybach on the tail. More Maybach, even more Maybach. This is not just about car design. This is Maybach tapping into luxury fashion logic. Louis Vuitton, for instance, raised prices globally by nearly 20% in early 2023, and yet saw sales surge with buyers desperate to flaunt LV logos on everything from bags to t-shirts and even shoes. Gucci's focus on its monogram doubled revenue between 2015 and 2022, topping $10 billion. In this context, the Maybach logos aren't merely decorative, they are deliberate, and it reflects a market that celebrates visible luxury, turning branding into prestige. The bonnet, it goes through multiple coats of paint, sanding, and clear lacquer. 7 layers in total, each sanded by hand. The result is 307 Maybach monograms for the driver to soak up. The logos visible to the driver on either side of the chrome spine, on the bonnet that spears into the Mercedes gun sight, glinting in the sunlight at the nose of the long hood. It's a sonorously restrained sound that is claimed to be typical of Maybach. And of course, it also is noise optimized with more insulating material. And this is what it sounds like in sport. Pay attention, and you can also hear the exhaust blow-off valve. Now what we have here is the SL63 AMG that has been heavily reworked to befit that Maybach badge put on the nose. Now, it's easy to be skeptical about the changes, to hate on all the logos, but there is nuanced engineering updates to make this drive more like a Maybach. And what is a Maybach all about? It's about comfort, it's about luxury, it's about opulence, it's also a little bit about decadence, but also a lot of power. Under those 307 Maybach monograms on the hood is the 4-liter twin-turbo V8 engine. Now, this is the same V8 engine. It makes 577 bhp made by one man, one engine, but over here, one man hasn't signed off on the engine. This is the Maybach engine with all the characteristics tuned for Maybach power delivery. You get a sport mode. This opens up the exhaust flaps by 40%. The sound resonator, which pipes in some more sounds into the cabin, that also opens up. And then it sounds sporty, sounds good. This properly advertises its intent. In sport, the steering is more direct. The accelerator response is better. Of course, the engine and transmission are in the heightened sporty modes. But there is no Sport Plus, no drift mode, none of that in the SL Maybach. Performance. 0 to 100 takes 4.1 seconds. That's like half a second slower than the SL63 Maybach. Top speed, 260 kilometers per hour. But again, the SL Maybach isn't built for lap times around a racetrack. It's built for fast cruising. And to that effect, there is an additional comfort mode, what Maybach calls the Maybach mode. So on the dynamic mode controller, go to the extra comfort mode, the comfort with the Maybach diamond on top of it. Now what this does is it softens the car even more. In fact, in terms of the engineering changes, that's where the main differences are. The front axle bearings are different, the ESP calibration is different. In fact, the camber angle of the tires, that has been reduced by 1.5 degrees so that there's more of a tire contact patch on the road at most often times, like when we are cruising around like on these twisty roads, and that gives it a more planted feel, less sportiness obviously, but better grand touring abilities. All the better to take in the views that stretch out in front of you of this glorious ocean shimmering by the islands. Oh man. The SL was always a grand tourer. Started off as the Sport Light, the super light, but then evolved into these big grand touring machines. And the Maybach is just perfectly suited to touring, to just taking in the sights and sounds. You get a limited slip differential at the rear. Now that obviously gives you more traction and would be brilliant to drift this around a racetrack. But this is not meant for drifting. You can't disconnect the front axle, you can't switch it into drift mode. That's not the remit of a car like this. Driving around roads in Ibiza, it's such a joy. There is power, but you don't need to prove it to anybody. This is calm, assured, confident, hugely capable. Mercedes, in terms of quality, has always been incredible. It feels expensive. Every bit the 4.2 crores that you will be spending on a car like this. Three cars have been allocated to India, each priced at 4.2 crore rupees, including that monogram bonnet. All three have been spoken for. In fact, demand is so strong that Mercedes India is talking to headquarters to get allocations of 2 more cars for India. But with the SL680 Maybach, it's not about numbers. This is the halo car sitting on top of what is now a 4-car lineup, and a lineup that is doing really well. In India last year, they sold over 500 cars. India is already amongst the top 10 for Maybach in the world, and soon will be amongst the top 5. And also soon, you will be able to buy Maybach handbags in India. The Maybach Icons of Luxury store is opening up in Bengaluru very soon. So if you don't get the car, probably get the wife a handbag.